Namaste, and thank you for joining me on your mat. Today we're going to be doing a heart-opening offering to the divine. We'll be using Kriya, Mudra, Mantra, Asana, and inner work processes to work through limiting beliefs that we hold about a situation that we'd like to offer up to the divine. Today, the props that you're going to need are going to be a pen and a piece of paper, 2 blocks, and a bolster. You can also have a strap. An optional one would be lavender or any kind of essential oil that you really connect with. And to start out this practice, I'd like to talk about the offering that we're going to be giving to the divine. Sometimes we're right at the edge of a cliff and we're looking all around us for answers and we don't know whether to jump. We don't know whether we'll be caught. Maybe it's a stepping stone that in our work life or in our personal life where we don't know really whether we need to be taking that leap of faith. So today we're going to be working through the beliefs that we hold behind giving ourselves to the divine in all aspects, including this situation. So today we're going to start on our mat. An easy pose, you can be sitting on a block or a bolster. And we're going to be doing the Pushpaputa Mudra. A Pushpaputa Mudra is going to be flowers in hand. It's simple yet beautiful. Bringing our hands together, forming a kind of bowl, like there's a dainty couple of flowers sitting in the palm of our hand. Leaving our eyes open, connecting to our breath, looking at the palms of our hand. Breathing deeply through the nose, filling up the lungs, and exhaling through the nose. Again, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. This time I would like you to start making ocean sounds in an Ujjayi breath by constricting the back of the throat. That means you're going to be constricting your throat and breathing in through your nose and exhaling through the nose as well. Bringing some awareness to your breath. Continuing to gaze down into the palm of your hands. If you'd like, you can close your eyes as you continue your Ujjayi breathing, but another option is to leave your eyes open and start to envision the situation that you are going to offer. Maybe it's your future, maybe it's a situation at work, maybe it's a relationship. And really just kind of forming that, either in your mind or seeing it in the palm of your hand, something that represents it strongly. Continuing with your Ujjayi breathing. You really want to connect with this situation, the aspects of it, and what we hold true about the situation. In every situation that we have, surrendering to divine intervention can be one key tool that breaks us free and allows for everything that needs to happen. Instead of forcing our way through, trying to control the situation, blaming others, we just release. So now we have our situation that we would like to use, and we can release our hands and continue with regular breathing and bringing our pen and paper out. We're going to start by writing on our piece of paper, I am offering blank to the divine. If you know the situation or relationship that you're going to use, go ahead and write that in. I am offering blank to the divine. Mine is going to be, I am offering my future to the divine. You could use something really broad like that, or you could bring up a very specific situation. Whatever you feel like you're trying to control and not let just be. So now we're going to start working through those limiting beliefs that we carry behind that statement that we're making. So when I say I'm offering my future up to the divine, am I really doing that? What is stopping me from doing that? So we're going to come up with like 1 to 3 ideas of how we're stopping ourselves. How are we hindering ourselves from the divine intervention that is always open and giving to us? So you can kind of write after that, maybe I'm offering my blank to the divine. I hinder myself from divine intervention by, and then write a couple of things down. And I'll give you just a minute to do that. While you're writing, maybe just me giving you a couple of words might help. Sometimes we try to really control the situation. Um, Sometimes we think that the timeline is not fast enough or the timeline is moving too fast for us. Sometimes we feel like we need to be connected in a different way. Sometimes we're not fully trusting. I think by not calling to the divine, it's kind of showing our distrust for the situation, where we can really sink in and say, I am trusting here. I am opening myself up to you. So once you have those 1 to 3 things written down, and I think control is a really big one. Like, even if you don't feel like you're trying to control the situation, if you really kind of take a step back, even in a deep meditation, think about how much you really are trying to control in your whole life. Even if it's just the little things. I think as humans, we love the control, the safety, that we know the next thing is going to happen, and opening ourselves up to that unknown can be really difficult. So if you don't already have more than one, maybe putting control as one of them. So the next part of this that we're gonna do is we're gonna make statements that kind of correlate with these things, these limiting beliefs. So first we're gonna start to kind of work through whatever that statement is. So I'll give you an example. I hinder myself from divine intervention by thinking I need to speed up my timeline. So in this section for me, I would say that I need to release control and remind myself that everything is happening in perfect timing. So that everything is happening in perfect timing statement is going to be the mantra that I kind of carry around in my day. So if I feel like I need to rush somewhere, or I feel like I'm waiting in this line and these people won't hurry up fast enough, this is the statement I'm going to say to myself. I'm going to say everything is happening in perfect time. Another example can be something like not fully trusting. And to that, we could say that if we're feeling overwhelmed, then we really need to start to take off some of the layers of the life that we're living and kind of look at things piece by piece, and just reminding ourselves to take one thing at a time. So really using whatever the statements are that you used, and giving yourself kind of a breakdown of what that looks like for you, and how you want it to look. And then giving yourself a statement to kind of run forward with that. The control one, I can also say that releasing control every time that you try to you catch yourself trying to control the moment. And just a mantra for that is the universe is in control, or I can relax. So really anything like that. If you need a little bit more time, you can go ahead and pause the video. We're going to stop on this right now, and we're going to set it to the side, pulling it back out at the end of our practice. So now we're going to be moving into a Kriya. And so before we move into a Kriya, we always want to give our bowing to the divine teacher, waking up the inner teacher within us all. And that's going to be through a mantra, through some chanting. And it is Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. And so we're going to say that 3 times. And if you don't know it, listening to it is just as good, but you can kind of start to remember it as I get to the 3rd one. So you can go ahead and close your eyes. You can bring your hands to that Pushpakuta Mudra, or your hands facing up, taking in energy from above. Taking a deep breath in. And HA, let it all out. And we'll begin. Inhale. Om Namo Guru Dev Guru Dev Namo. Bringing our hands down. You're going to start your Kriya practice by bringing your arms up at a 60-degree angle. I want to start with this because this line that our arm is making is going to be very important. So you don't want your arms giving any kind of bend. You want to keep that conduit open from the sky in through your heart center. During the Kriya, we are going to be doing stomach pumping. So if you have eaten something recently, be easy on yourself because this might not be the most comfortable situation. Sometimes with Kriyas, you want to make sure to be doing them at the beginning of the day or when you haven't eaten recently. The stomach pumps are going to be a massage for our organs, and the arms up and making sure that line is straight is going to be that connection with something higher, bringing in any energy we can to our heart center. So again, we're going to be bringing our arms up nice and high, and for 1 minute, we're going to be completing breath of fire. And breath of fire is going to be quick inhales and quick exhales through the nostrils for 1 full minute. When that minute is over, we're going to be doing the stomach pumps for 16 repetitions, and I will be counting you through them. And we're going to do that 3 different times. So when we're done with that, you're going to sit and really kind of take in the way that Kriya has made you feel. While you are kind of bringing yourself into your body, I will be chanting Ong Sohung, and that means that I am one with God, the universal consciousness. When you kind of come back into your body, you can start chanting along with me. So I'm going to go ahead and start our timer. You can raise your arms up to that 60-degree angle, making sure there's no bend in your elbow. And we're going to start with breath of fire. If at any point you start to begin to feel a little bit lightheaded, slow your breath down just a little bit. Try and keep your arms up right at that 60-degree angle and continue the breath. If you need to stop fully, bring your arms down, tilt your head down and take a breath, and then reach your arms back up and continue. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping the arms, taking a deep inhale. You can bring your hands next to your body, and we're going to begin your stomach pumps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and inhale, bringing your arms up. 60-degree angle again, and breath of fire. Go ahead and begin. Again, if at any point you're starting to feel lightheaded and you cannot handle the breath, take a breath, relax, and then take a deep breath in, exhale, and come back into that breathing. Halfway done, you can push through this. Keeping those arms straight up. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lowering the arms again with the stomach pumps, counting again up to 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Inhale, arms above head. Again, starting with breath of fire. You're doing great. You can push through this. This is a difficult breath work, but you are pushing through. You are going to complete this. You're already halfway through. "15 seconds left. You've got this. Keeping the arms nice and high, back straight, chin up. And you are completed. Again, leaning yourselves back. Those 16 stomach pumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and relax. If you're sitting on a block, go ahead and remove it. You can lie yourself down on a flat back or bring yourself into child's pose for a few breaths. Really bringing attention to how your body feels in this moment. Staying in the position that you're in, really sinking into how you're feeling after that Kriya. We like to bring attention to what that Kriya has given us. Maybe you're starting to feel some of that tingling through your entire body, that energy being able to move through all of your nadis and all of your chakras, because we've just blown out any blockages that were in between, feeling like your heart is open. At this time, I'll start chanting. Again, I am one with God, the universal consciousness. At any point, you can begin chanting with me. If you're not chanting, bringing some attention to your breath. Om, 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 Soham, 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 Om, 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 Soham, 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 Soham. Wiggling your fingers and toes, starting to bring yourself back into this moment. If you're laying on your back or you've come into child's pose, come back up in a seated position. Before you start in any asana practice, make sure that you really are back into your body. Maybe rubbing your hands together a little bit, rubbing your hands to your arms and down your entire body, giving yourself a nice massage, waking yourself back up to this moment. Maybe on your face and the top of your head, even the bottoms of your feet, grounding yourself back here. And we're going to start with a deep inhale and kind of bringing a bend in your back, reaching your chin up to the sky. And exhaling, rolling your back. Inhaling, bringing that chin back up to the sky. And exhaling, rolling your back. Coming back into neutral. You're going to take your left hand and place it down onto the mat. And inhale, bring your right arm up above head, giving yourself a side stretch. Exhaling, bring the right hand down to the mat, and inhaling, bringing the left hand up overhead, another side stretch on your other side. Exhaling, bringing the hand back down. Bringing your right hand to your left knee and your left hand behind your body, giving yourself a nice twist, bringing your chin up, making sure you're really rising your chest up, opening yourself up. Exhaling, coming back through neutral, bringing your left hand to your right knee, your right hand behind your body. Same thing, twist your spine, keeping your chin high. And exhaling, coming back through center. We're going to come up into a tabletop position, kind of continuing that cat-cow effect like we had in our first stretch, and making sure that your knees are under your hips, your hands are under your shoulders. There's a slight micro bend in your elbows. You don't want to be hyperextending your elbows here. And you're going to take a deep inhale, arching the back, bringing the chin up. And exhale, rolling the back, giving an opposing arch. And inhale, up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring that belly button up towards the sky, curling in the tailbone. Inhale, bringing the shoulders away from your ears, bringing the chin up to the sky. Going through a couple more rounds of that at your own pace. Final time, inhale, bring the belly button as low as possible, chin up to the sky, opening the chest, and exhaling, coming back through to your back arched, and then coming back through neutral, giving yourself a little wiggle, maybe side to side, kind of just going with some intuitive movement here, making sure that the back is nice and stretched out. We're going to roll our toes and bringing our hands nice and planted, we're going to push ourselves up into a downward facing dog. Making sure that our feet are nice and hip width apart. We've got a slight bend in the elbows again, making sure that our fingers are really gripping the mat. We don't want to dump into our wrists here. Pushing your heels down as much as possible, maybe pedaling out your feet just a little bit. I think we call it walking the dog. And we're going to inhale and we're going to push our body up through a plank. And we're going to lower our body all the way to the ground. Flip your feet over so that the tops of your feet are touching the mat. And you're going to inhale. We're going to give ourselves a baby cobra. And exhale, bringing ourselves all the way back down to the mat. Inhale, we're going to come up for baby cobra this time, but we're going to lift our hands up off so we really feel that nice back stretch happening. the tightening in your lower back. Taking a couple breaths. Lowering yourself back down. Putting our hands right underneath our shoulders, pushing ourselves up into a king cobra. A breath or two here. And lowering ourselves down. We're going to use that same motion and push our whole body up through tabletop and down into child's pose. Giving ourselves an opposing stretch to that lower back crunch we just did. You can make this an active child's pose by scooching your fingers up little by little and really feeling that stretch in your low back and really lengthening the spine. Taking another breath here. And we'll curl the toes and push our hips up right back into our downward facing dog. Inhaling, shifting our weight forward onto the toes and lowering ourselves all the way back down to the ground. Gonna go through that motion again. So inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, lowering ourselves down. Inhale, baby cobra, lifting the hands. And exhale, lowering ourselves to the ground. And inhale, making sure our hands are underneath our shoulders, and raising our chest up, looking up to the sky, king cobra. And lowering ourselves all the way to the ground. Pushing ourselves through tabletop into child's pose. Lengthening the spine, scooting our hands up for an active child's pose. Curling our toes, planting our hands, pushing ourselves back up into downward facing dog. Inhale, shifting your weight forward, bringing yourself all the way back down to the ground. And this time we're going to bring ourselves up, but we're going to use our entire body. So we're going to flip our hands down, the tops of your hands onto the mat. The tops of your feet should be facing the mat as well. And when we inhale, we're going to lift our entire body up. Shalabhasana. Taking a breath here. Exhale, bringing our body all the way to the ground. I want you to bring your left ear to the ground and really relax your entire body. Inhale, bringing ourselves back up into that same Shalabhasana, hands facing upward. This time you can bring a bind, bringing our hands together behind our back, really crunching at the shoulders so that your spine can come up, so that your back can come up even higher, your chest is facing up, opening our chest to the divine. And lowering ourselves onto our right ear this time, making sure we're fully relaxing. And a final time, we're going to come up, and maybe Shalabhasana is where you stay, but you can bring your hands back to your ankles and pull just enough that it lifts the front of your body up and lifts your knees up off the ground and your thighs up off the ground, making sure that you're not bending outward. Keep those hips nice and neutral and bringing yourself up into bow. Lowering yourself all the way back to the ground, giving yourself a nice breath on the ground. Push yourself up. We're going all the way through to a downward facing dog. Inhale, we're going to step or hop up to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. And exhale, you're forward folding here. Inhale, you're going to sweep your arms up, reverse swan dive, arms overhead, prayer through heart center, and pushing yourself all the way back down to the ground. Inhaling, another halfway lift.
This time, exhale, step your feet back. You have a vinyasa flow, rolling yourself up onto your toes, lowering your body, pushing yourself up on an inhale, up dog, baby cobra or king cobra, and exhale, bringing yourself back into downward facing dog for another breath. While we're in this downward facing dog, let's talk about what we're going to be doing going forward. We're going to be opening the chest, allowing for the divine to come in through our heart center, saying yes to what is next. We're going to inhale, bring our left foot forward, dropping our back right knee, and flipping our foot over so that the top of our foot is on the mat. Make sure that your blocks are near, at least one of them, because you're going to be going into lizard's pose here in just a moment. Before then, let's go ahead and take an inhale, bringing our hands in a bind behind our back, opening your chest, looking up to the sky, offering yourself to divine intervention. Here I am, universal consciousness, God, whatever you call it, the all-pervading, loving, giving guidance. And exhale, bringing ourselves down. We're going to scoot our block in. Our left foot is going to inch out just a little bit, and you're going to lower yourself down onto a block. And maybe this is the expression that you can get to, and that's okay. Maybe your block is up on its highest position. As time goes on, you might feel like you can go a little bit lower. As you can go lower, you might want to scoot your right knee back just a little bit. Another breath here. If you're all the way down onto the ground, start to push yourself up, placing your hands on your mat, scooting that left leg in just a little bit, squaring our feet off, lifting your back right knee, maybe bringing it in just a step, coming into high lunge with our hand on the ground. So we're going to be placing our right hand right below our right shoulder. Inhale, bringing your left hand up, sky, opening the chest. Staying here for one more breath. Exhaling, we're going to straighten our front left knee, bringing our left hand down to that left ankle, swooping your right hand up to the sky. Now we're in triangle. Making sure that you drop that back right foot at a 90-degree angle. Really making sure to pull that right arm up, bring your gaze up to your fingertips, your right fingertips. One more breath here. In another swooping motion, we're going to bend our front left knee, bringing ourselves up into a warrior two. Make sure you're pushing in the outside knife edge of your back foot. Your knee is not too far over that you can't see any of your toes, but you can see your first two toes. Flip your front hand, drop your back right hand, and inhale, humble warrior. Exhale, bringing your left elbow to your left leg, reaching that right arm above head, bringing your gaze back up to those fingers up on top. Maybe taking a bind, opening our chest. I am here, I am willing, and I am able. Divine. Twisting that back right foot, planting your hands, stepping your foot back into a downward facing dog. pedaling the feet out. This time we're taking the right foot up in between the hands, dropping your back left knee, uncurling the foot, coming up, bringing our hands behind us in a bind, bringing the chest up, opening yourself up. Bringing your block in, scooting your right foot over just a smidge, and whatever variation you took the first time, you can do that again, or maybe your legs are not on the same level. That's usually how it is for me. Again, starting to scoot that left foot back if you feel like you need a little bit more of a stretch. Taking a breath here. Moving your block out of the way, curling the back toe, scooting the right foot over so that it's in between your hands, and pushing that back left knee up. Again, with our twisting and swooping, we're going to plant our left hand, swinging our right arm up to the sky, gazing up at our fingertips. All in one motion, we're going to straighten your front right leg, swooping your right hand down to your right ankle, turning the left foot at a 90-degree angle, and sweeping your left hand up to the sky, bringing your gaze up to your fingertips, pushing your chest open. One more breath here. Bending your front right knee, sweeping your arms up. That back left foot should be at a 90-degree angle, coming into a warrior two. Inhaling, bringing that right hand up to the sky, dropping your left hand down the back of your leg, humble warrior. Bringing your right elbow to your right knee, bringing your left hand above your head, gazing up at your fingers, extended side angle. An option here, bringing the hand back behind the back for a bind, bringing the chest up, opening yourself up. One more breath here. You're strong and able. Planting your hands on either side of the foot, turning the back left foot, bringing your right foot back to downward facing dog, dropping yourself into a child's pose. Knees are apart. Seat yourself back onto your feet and bring yourself down. Again, this can be active. You can scoot your fingers up and start to feel that nice stretch in your low back. Give yourself here a moment just to breathe. On your next inhale, bring your right leg up to your right hand, right in between, and drop yourself down, flipping your back left foot, coming into pigeon. Bringing your chin up, opening your chest. Maybe dropping your hands down onto a block, your head down onto a block, or bringing your hands and head down to the ground. If you start to feel yourself rolling out of pigeon to the right, bring a block to your right hip It'll stop your hip from rolling out of this position. Breathe here for just a moment. You can do that same scooting motion of your back left leg if you feel like you need a little bit deeper of a stretch. Removing the block if you have one. We're going to switch legs, so you're going to take your right leg and push it all the way back to your left in a plank and bringing your left leg up in between your hands, dropping that right thigh and bringing a block in any of the variations or expressions that you found useful to you. Lowering your head down, bringing your awareness to your breath. Maybe bringing in some of that Ujjayi breath, scooting your foot back as you see fit, not dumping into the left hip. Removing any of the blocks that you have, pushing yourself back up and bringing your left leg back down. We're lowering ourselves all the way to the mat again. We're going to inhale, bring ourselves back up into that baby cobra. And exhale, lower ourselves all the way down. Inhale again, bringing ourselves up into that baby cobra, but this time rolling the shoulders back, pulling our hands up. Exhale, lowering yourself all the way to the ground. Bring your hands to the sides of your body, palms facing up. Inhaling, we're going to come back up into locust. Keeping all of your extremities off the ground to the best of your ability, feeling that crunch in your low back. And exhale, bringing yourself down to the ground, relaxing all of your muscles, especially the lower back and buttocks. Make sure that you're not tightening up there. Inhale, coming back up into that same pose. Maybe you use the expression of bow this time. Really tightening your hands onto your ankles, pulling the chest up, bringing the chin up. Exhale, lowering yourself all the way to the ground, putting your hands under your shoulders, pushing yourself back up into a child's pose, bringing the head down to the mat, taking a deep inhale and a deep exhale. We're going to bring ourselves up, walk our knees through or our feet through, however we need to bring ourselves onto our back. Keeping your strap close by. We will be using it in just a moment. Taking a breath here on your back. Because we've switched over, sometimes that can mess with our head a little bit, and so we just need to come back into our body on the opposite side. Take a breath here. Pushing yourself up, we're going to come up into a reverse tabletop, keeping those stomach muscles tight, keeping the back muscles tight, making sure your hands are right below your shoulders, your knees aren't bending out, pushing up through the back, maybe allowing your head to drop if that feels comfortable. Two more breaths here. And lowering yourself back down to the ground. Bringing your knees to your chest, hugging yourself and maybe giving yourself a roll from side to side. Lowering your feet back down, we're going to go into bridge. So you can bring a block in if you feel like you need to have a supported bridge. If not, bringing yourself up, planting your hands, lifting your waist up. If you need a supported, bring in that block right below the tailbone. If you'd like a little bit of a deeper stretch, bring your hands together below you and scooch up onto the outside edges of your shoulders, pushing your belly button up to the sky, making sure you're not doing anything silly with your knees. Breathing here. 2 more breaths. And exhaling, lowering yourself down to the mat. This time we can bring our feet together in sort of a happy baby. I've heard it called a happy butterfly. Bringing our feet together, rolling ourselves on our low back, giving ourselves a nice massage. Bringing your feet back down to the mat. You may either come back up into a bridge pose, or if wheel is in your practice, bringing your hands right behind your shoulders and pushing yourself up through the center of your body all the way up into wheel. Wheel can be a rather difficult posture to stay in, so if you feel like you need to lower yourself down, go ahead. Otherwise, taking another breath here. And then lowering your body all the way to the ground, bringing that strap in. Wrapping it around your foot, bringing your right leg up to the sky. Leaving that left leg down, starting to bring your right leg kind of shifting left to right. Giving yourself a back massage through your hip there. Releasing your right leg from the strap and bringing your left leg up into the strap. Again, dropping the right leg, shifting that left leg back and forth. Releasing that strap and bringing your legs down to the mat. Here we're going to start to raise ourselves up and fold ourselves over in a seated forward fold to really release the stress from the low back. Breathing here. Going ahead and grabbing your essential oil if you do have it and taking a nice breath of it, or dropping some onto your skin and giving it a nice smell. This is a really good way to seal in what we've learned on our mat today. If you'd like, you can grab your bolster and bring it underneath your knees. We're coming down into Shavasana. This is your time. If you feel like you have any other poses you'd like to do before class is over, you may go ahead and do those now. Sinking deeply into our Shavasana, leaving your hands where they feel comfortable. Maybe that's on your heart and your stomach. Maybe that's on your side with your hands facing upward, connecting to your breath.
Starting to wiggle your fingers and toes. Coming back into the moment. Maybe rolling yourself onto your right side. Bringing your left hand onto the mat and pushing yourself up whenever you feel ready. We're going to come back to our original writing that we did. Really want to look and see if there's anything that came to us in a form of realization during our practice, and go ahead and write it down. Reading through your mantras, knowing what your next steps are going to look like, and if you don't feel like you know, leaving yourself open to that answer to come in. Bringing our Pushpabhuta Mudra back up, envisioning that situation now in our hands. Has it shifted at all? Has it changed? Do you feel like the situation has gotten better? Do you feel less weight with it all? Bringing your hands into prayer, I'd just like to thank you for bringing yourself to your mat today, and to tell you that everything is happening in perfect timing. Whatever that situation looks like for you right now, I hope you know that it will end exactly the way it needs to, in the most beautiful outcome for you. Namaste.